Michael was sick, and he died.
How do you explain that?
I want it to be true.
Debuting tomorrow, the Prison Break 9-episode event series on Fox makes it sadly clear that in this age of reboots and revivals, some things really should just be left alone, no matter how great the temptation or the initial interest in bringing them back. Despite the worthy efforts of Wentworth Miller and Dominic Purcell in this revival, and the fact that the initial 4-season and 1 TV movie run of Prison Break was one of my favorite shows of the previous decade, even though it went into pantomime territory regularly after the tight and nervy premise of season 1, the nearly 8-year break since the show seemingly ended, with Miller's already fatally sick Michael Schofield sacrificing himself for his wife Sara, played by Walking Dead and Colony actor Sara Wayne-Callis, has not aged well.
Is there any possible way your brother could have survived?
My brother's dead.
Then who sent this, and why?
Despite the heavily promoted and South by Southwest previewing anticipation of Prison Break's return, it also doesn't make much sense. And that's really saying something for Prison Break. Weighed down in its homage to Homer's epic poem The Odyssey, and already old-fashioned and outdated domestically in its political context in this age of Trump, the 5th season of sorts of the Paul Sheldon-created series is alternatingly thin in appearance and wide in scope, as Purcell's way down on his luck Lincoln Burrows heads to the Middle East in search of his brother against a backdrop of war in Yemen, ISIL advances, mixed alliances, conspiracies, lines like, "I will miss you when you're dead, but only for a minute," to find and free the long presumed dead and now seemingly alive Michael.
I got your note, Michael. We're gonna get you out of here.
Along with Legends of Tomorrow alums Miller and Purcell and Callis, the old gang of Robert Knepner's Teabag, Paul Adelstein, Rockmond Dunbar, with the latter having now converted to Islam, and more are back. But even so, this Prison Break is trapped in the prison of its own pedigree and shortcomings. And amidst a lot of yelling and running, nothing really happens for way too long once the setup is established.
You need to look at all of the possibilities before you go walking into a war zone.
He's my brother.
Even Knepner's despicably charming and somewhat reformed Teabag feels out of second chances and pushing through the motions, even though he still has all the Kale jokes and best lines from what I've seen and heard.
I knew you'd be the same obstinate son of a biatch you always been, but I'd hoped you'd seen the light, but you are what you is and you is what you are.
The ultimate expression in family fare in many ways, with its sibling dedication, Prison Break was always 2 or 3 steps over the line of the absurd, with the handbrake off towards nutty. That was part of what made it so fun and adrenalizing in the early days. After the success of its X-Files limited series last year, and the surprisingly fantastic season 1 of the small screen Exorcist, plus the fortitude of 24 Legacy, I thought, despite the horrors of their Lethal Weapon show, that Fox might have this reboot thing down more than all the other nets. Unfortunately, even though they've ambitiously expanded the notion of what a prison is, this Prison Break should have been kept under lockdown.